Good day, Mob. It's Elvin Flamingo here. I am an artist, and this time I use podcast as a creative medium. In every episode, I carefully select 7 quotes from movies, speeches, interviews, and TV shows, and weave them into a unique message. Of course, quoting something doesn't mean that I agree with it. For example, if I quote Last Frontier in episode 1, it was 4 weeks ago, saying, I understand Hitler, doesn't mean that I do, because I don't. That should be obvious. As you can hear, I am not a native English speaker. I've got an accent, but nothing shocking. For those of you who are not fluent in English, I've prepared subtitles, so feel free to turn them on. They'll help you to understand me better. Welcome to my interactive podcast, which is called Guess the Words from Blockbusters to Bold Minds. So it means that you should guess, or you shouldn't. Just enjoy the message. This is episode 5. And of course, using notebook comes from movie Joker the Clown. He was on the stage with his notebook saying his jokes, reading his jokes. So that's the idea where it comes from. All right. Quote number 29. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to share this event with so many committed people here in this room and out in the streets. And I'm proud to stand with Indivisible and all the organization promoting No Kings. The concept of No Kings is a great rallying cry and hugely successful, as millions of us have answered the call. I support this movement 150%. But when the crowd are chanting No Kings, what I'm really hearing, as we all know, is No Trump. That's right. There have been other presidents who have tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None except Trump. He must be stopped, and he must be stopped now. Amen. It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein class bodies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no inflation at its highest level since COVID. No government masked thugs shouting down our neighbors in the streets. Trump has to be stopped. And that's what No Kings is all about. Because he can't do all the fucked up things that he's been doing without the collusion of Congress and the goons in his administration. They're bound to him by fear of losing their own jobs, their own power. It's diabolical. How can this be happening? Look at the power of No Kings national uprising. Afraid of Trump? Please. No, they should be more afraid of us. That's right. Because we still believe in the core American values of justice, equality, decency, and kindness. Because we're going from the streets to the ballot box, because, we all deserve a country with no kings, no Trump. Thank you.
Trump has to be stopped. And that's what No Kings is all about. Because he can't do all the fucked up things that he's been doing without the collusion of Congress and the goons in his administration.
Number 30. What does the title mean for you? I don't answer that question. And the reason I don't answer it basically is because it's more of a mood title than anything else. It's just the right title. It just sums up the movie. Don't ask me why. It did come from somewhere, but it's not supposed to be a literal thing. It's a mood thing. People come up to me and they tell me what they think it means, all right? And I'm constantly astounded by their creativity and their ingenuity. And as far as I'm concerned, when they come up with that, they're right. They're 100% right. And I want to keep that comment. The minute I said whatever I'm going to say, it becomes official, and then all that stops. When we were doing the movie, this journalist from Germany came down, all right, to interview Lauren Terney. And he goes, so what is the meaning of a reservoir dog? Well, as you know, reservoir dogs is a very famous expression in America for dogs who hang around a reservoir. And I want to keep that stuff coming. That's just so ingenuity.
Well, as you know, reservoir dogs is a very famous expression in America for dogs who hang around a reservoir.
Number 31. Hey, can I ask you something? What? What's forget about? What is it? Forget about it is like if you agree with someone, you know, like Raquel Welch is one great piece of us. Forget about it. But then if you disagree, like a Lincoln is better than the Cadillac, forget about it, you know. But then it's also like if Sam is the greatest thing in the world, like, I mean, girls' peppers, forget about it, you know. But it's also like saying go to hell, too. Like, you know, like, hey, bully, you got a 1-inch pecker. And bully says, forget about it. Sometimes it just means forget about it.
But it's also like saying go to hell, too. Like, you know, like, hey, bully, you got a 1-inch pecker, and bully says, forget about it.
Number 32. Americans know that Israel and the United States share common values, that we defend common interests, that we face common enemy. Iran's leaders know that too. You know, for them, you're the great Satan, we're the little Satan. For them, we are you, and you are us. And you know something, Mr. President? At least on this last point, I think they're right. We are you, and you are us. We're together. So, if there's one thing that stands out clearly in the Middle East today, is that Israel and America stand together.
Israel and the United States share common values, that we defend common interests, that we face common enemies. Iran's leaders know that too. You know, for them, you're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
Quote number 33. So you're married? No, I'm not. But you have a girlfriend? No. Gay? No. So tell me, Joe, how come a man as attractive, intelligent, well-spoken, diffident in the most seductive way, and yet powerful, is all alone in this world?
So you're married?
No, I'm not.
But you have a girlfriend.
No.
Gay?
No?
Number 34. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a Third World War. And that would not have been a good situation. What was the second question? My second question for President Zelensky: why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see do you own a suit?
If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a Third World War, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
My second question for President Zelensky: why don't you wear a suit?
Number 85, the last one. Mr. Gambini, are you mocking me with that outfit? Mocking you? No, I'm not mocking you, Judge. Then explain that outfit. I bought a suit. You've seen it. Now it's covered in mud. This town doesn't have 1-hour cleaners, so I had to buy a new suit. Except that the only store you could buy a new suit in has got the flu. You get that? The whole store got the flu. So I had to get this in a second-hand store. So it's either wear the leather jacket, which I know you hate, or this. So I wore this ridiculous thing for you. You on drugs? Drugs? No, I don't take drugs. I don't like your attitude. What else is new? I'm holding you in contempt of court. Of course there's a fucking surprise. What did you say? What? What did you just say? What? What did I say? What?
You on drugs?
Drugs? No, I don't take drugs.
I don't like your attitude.
What else is new?
I'm holding you in contempt of court.
Oh, there's a fucking surprise.
What'd you say?